Okay, so today I'm going to discuss a little bit about school bullying and some of the consequences that school bullying has on our youth today. We know, well, first of all, school bullying has been around for generations. Whenever we have inequality, whenever there are differences, whether it be in social status or it be social, economic status or a difference of culture, a difference of race. It could be something as simple as the difference in which some kids dress from the others. I know that when I went to public school, I went in a city that had both a very wealthy neighborhood and we had a not so wealthy, a very poor neighborhood, and we were all stuck in the same school. And whether you were from the poor neighborhood or the rich neighborhood, kind of uh, you know set the tone for how you were going to do school, and the groups would segregate from one another. Some wore nicer clothes, others wore a little bit of raggedy clothes, or maybe they didn't have name brands, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they had a medical condition, and it was a physical condition or a disability of some type. There's all these different things that that these kids uh, would have going on in their life, and it was really a breeding ground for bullying. I've seen rich kids get bullied because they were too fancy. I've seen poor kids get bullied because they were unable to wear name brand, sneakers and shirts and whatnot. And so it's been around. It's been around for a very long time. I think that we know, and according to some of the articles I read, Let's Talk by King is one of them that talks about bullying and some of the symptoms of bullying. We know that bullying causes social isolation. We know that bullying causes depression and some suicidal ideation. We know that bullying causes anxiety. What we're struggling to figure out, however, is how to intervene in an effective way so that these kids, these victims of bullying can have a better school experience. And from some of the research that I've been looking at and from some of the experiences that I have, I would say probably a good mentorship program is a start. Schools do try to have intervention programs, but we know that a lot of the school intervention programs are actually, in large part, ineffective. I remember, for personal experience, one thing that my daughter's school, that the school was going to try and do to minimize bullying, was they were going to put I forget what they called it. It was a blue chair or blue bench or something bench, but it was a bench that they were going to put there. And that bench was meant for anyone who felt like they needed a friend because they were feeling down on themselves. They were victims of bullying. They needed a friend. And so they'd go and sit in this chair and hope that a friend will see them, know what the chair is there for, know the whole meaning behind the chair, and then they would go ahead and sit down and be their friend. Well, I kind of chuckled when they were talking about this because I knew what was going to happen, and this is in fact what did happen. That chair became a breeding ground for bullies, right? It was an ineffective intervention strategy. Now, that's just a personal observation I made, but we know through some of the research that I've also gone through here, only about 21% of bullying victims feel as though they have an adult that they can confide in, have somebody that they can look up to, and somebody who's going to listen to them, and somebody who's actually going to take the time and kind of empathize with them and give them that safe space. And so I'm looking at today's prompt, looking at some of the research. I'm going through here and I'm looking at the prompt, and it talks about or asks the question, how can we be better Christian counselors and conceptualize prevention in schools, community centers, mental health treatment facilities, churches, and that kind of thing. And I think it is a little bit of a challenge to meet this demand, and to kind of be there and be that mentor for these kids, but opening our hearts up. Corinthians 13, and I'll read verse 2. It says, "And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing." I think that says quite a bit in all of these different areas. We need to really open our hearts and open our minds and listen, and not just come up with a reactive potential prevention, such as a silly bench for kids to sit down in. But I think that if we open up our hearts and our minds and show them we are a safe space, a mentor program where an adult in their life can take the time and the opportunity to listen to them and conceptualize, to hear what they're saying in their problems, and kind of do that with an open heart and an open mind, and be all for doing the Almighty's work, then perhaps it can be effective. But I'm a strong advocate and a huge believer in mentorship, an effective mentorship, and so that's kind of my take on today's topic. So thank you.